Welcome to our custom space where dreams take flight. Positive visions come to life. It's a perfect sight. We bond together, bloom.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Custom Carving and Epoxy UK. And you may remember a few videos ago we made the chameleon egg, which came out absolutely gorgeous, that chameleon dragon egg. And I also made this large 22-ounce bowl as well at the same time. But if you remember, I used a really cheap resin, which I'm not very happy with, which is the Jiao Chun Fast Cure. Now, the egg has cured really well, and I've got no concerns about that, which is great. However, the bowl, it's cured all the way around the sides and the underside, but in the inside, I've got sort of this crinkliness, which I don't know if you can see there, which I'm not happy about. And to be honest with you, I'm not even confident it is fully cured. So I'm going to try and fix that. And because of the depth of this bowl, I've got quite a bit of space to play with. So I thought what might be fun is to actually put a galaxy in there. Sort of a solar system type thing, or a planet. And I just thought it'd be quite a fun project to try and see if we can fix this bowl, because again, most of it is cured solid. It's just that inside I'm not confident about, and I think it is because I use that cheap resin to try and use it up. So all I'm going to do for this stage is just put a thin layer on, and the amount of times I say that this laser silver glitter and the black paste looks like a galaxy, I'm surprised I haven't done it yet. So that's what we're going to do. So this first layer, I'm just going to mix up around about 80ml, I think should cover that base. And I'm going to be using the Apex One Coat for this because it's a really nice resin. I really like using it, and I get a good result. So I'm not in a rush for this either, because I can't do much with it until tomorrow now, because it's about 11 o'clock in the evening here in the UK, and I'm about to go to bed, if I'm being completely honest. But I just wanted to get this first layer in so that can be curing, so that tomorrow, hopefully, I can come back and we can start on layer 2. Possibly going to need 3 layers for this. Not decided yet, but this first layer is pretty straightforward. And if you do want any of this Apex resin, guys, go to justforyouonlineuk.com and put in the discount code ccuk. But I've been really happy with them, the ones I've been using, and I think I've used up about a gallon of the Fast Cure in a week. So the great thing about that stuff is it literally cures within 2.5 hours, which is amazing. So as with any resin, you want to just stir it around gently until there's no streaks. Now this is, I would say, a lower viscosity resin, low to maybe a medium, but for me it's quite a low one, and therefore it mixes really quickly, and it's really thin. So it's great for different projects where you might want a lower viscosity resin as well. And all I'm doing is just scraping around the sides. And this is just for those of you that haven't ever mixed resin. You want it to go fully transparent. So you just want to get rid of all of those streaks. I'm not going to put this through the debubbler either. And that's just because it tends to degas quite well, this resin. Plus, I'm going to be putting black in it, and I'm going to be putting that laser glitter in. So it's kind of pointless because I know I'm going to get a few bubbles in there. But for me, that's already crystal clear and there's no streaks in there. So hasn't been the full 5 minutes. It's probably been more like 2, if I'm being honest. But as you can see, there's no streaks left in there now. So I'm just going to scrape around the edges. And for this first layer, all I'm doing, literally, I'm going to put 2 drops of this resin dye paste in, which is dark black, he says, if it decides to come out. There we go. So 1 drop and a few streaks. And you'll see you don't need a lot of this stuff, guys. That will tend to send the whole thing jet black. Look at that straight away. And this is what I like about the resin dye paste versus the mica powder as well. You get a true black. Look at that. And now what I'm going to do, I don't want to overdo it with the glitter, but I do want glitter in there because I keep on saying every time I use it as a back, it looks like a galaxy, because look at this laser glitter. all of those different colours. To me, they just look like stars. And I think mixed in with the black, they'll give us like a starry sort of universal look. And I'm not going to overdo it. As I say, I don't want too many stars, but probably a scoop and a half of this laser glitter is going in there. So that is that. And then I'm just going to mix it round, pour it in, and leave it to cure, basically. That's going to be layer 1. And I'm hoping that, watch this, when I mix that glitter into the black, look at that. Now, if that doesn't look like a starry night to you, or I don't know what does, but I just love the colours in it as well. So look at that. Absolutely stunning, that effect. And I'm hoping that that's what it will cure like. So all I'm going to do now, give it 2 more stirs just to make sure it's all mixed around. And this is hopefully showing you guys, if you ever have this effect, and I hope you don't, because I hope you're using the right resins for you, and you're using a quality resin rather than one of these cheaper ones. And I've certainly learnt my lesson with that. That Jiao Chun one now, the only thing I'm using it for is to make resin pastes. That's it. I'm not using it with any other resin project, because do you know what? When you work with resin, you want to get a reliable finish. And this is the problem when you use some of these cheaper ones and it all goes wrong. And to be honest with you, I think it's quite sad, because for me, it puts a lot of people off the hobby when they don't get things curing right and things like that. And sometimes it isn't their fault if they're using one of these cheaper resins. Now, again, you want to make sure your table's level. And all I'm going to do is hope that I've mixed enough here to just completely cover that base. Like so. And it looks like I have, so that's good. I've judged it right. And I think a galaxy in this chameleon bowl is still going to look amazing. And what I am probably going to do, just to be safe, these sides, I'm probably going to end up giving everything a flood coat once I'm done. And that's just because I'm not confident at all in that Jiao Chun resin. But you can see that's enough of a layer now where it covers up those creases nicely. And I can't see them. So hopefully that's just going to cure and give me that sort of galaxy effect, if you can see that in the base of the bowl. So again, I'm just going to shimmer it around like this to make sure everything's covered. And that's it, basically. Torch off any bubbles. Like so. I'm going to come back in probably 5 minutes and just do that again to make sure none of those bubbles are pulled in. Now, I might find that some of the glitter will pull in, but I'm not too concerned about that. If it comes into the center, because that's where I'm going to put my solar system, in the center. So that's going to be stage 2. So we'll come back tomorrow. We'll start putting that solar system effect in, and then we'll go from there. But whilst you're here, guys, do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. So here we are, guys. It's the next day, and as you can see, that's cured lovely with the exception of one bubble. But the bubble is right in the center, so I don't think that's going to matter. And one of Reggie's hairs, so let's get that out. I don't want a hair in the resin. There we go. But as you can see, it's got that sort of galaxy style look to it. Now I'm going to go in with the next layer, which is just mainly going to be clear with, I think I'm going to do a purple style galaxy. So I've got some homemade purple pigment paste, and I think that'll make a pretty cool colour. And you'll see what we're going to do to sort of really emphasise that. But for this layer, it's just going to be that purple to create sort of a background for this solar system. And I'm going to be using the Apex Fast Cure for this so that I can put another coat on in about 2.5 hours. And that's the great thing about this stuff, is it cures within 2.5 hours, depending on your temperature. So again, I'm probably going to go for 60 ml this time, because I think that should be enough. So just going to mark it out actually, so I can actually see what I'm doing. If you don't with these silicone cups, there's a risk that you will not get it in the right place. So I've got 30 there and 60 there. So again, half and half. Mix it together as always. And I think this is probably going to use up all of my fast cure now with these next few layers, but it is what it is. I'll have to order some more, I think. And if you want any of this stuff, guys, go to Just For You online uk.com, and I've got a discount code for you, which is ccuk. And that'll get you some money off as well. So, but as I say, since I've been using it, it's been really, really good, especially with the fact that it cures within that 2.5 hours. So for something like this, where there's probably going to be, on top of this, I think at least 3, maybe 4 layers, I think it's going to be really useful. And you'll see that in a second. So that's up to 30. I'm just going to pour the rest in up to 60. There we go. And then I'm going to mix that together. Not going to bother putting it through the bubble removal machine or anything like that either. So all I want is predominantly clear. So I'm just going to scrape the sides and the base, and it is quite thick stuff, but that's why it cures within that sort of 2.5 hours. Right, so that's now mixed together, and as you can see, it looks like there's quite a few bubbles in there, but I'm not worried about that because they do dissipate quite well with this. So I'm going to pour a tiny bit into here, and this is just going to be for my colour. I don't think I'm going to need a lot, so that will do. And then the rest, I'm just going to pour straight in. And hopefully I'll have enough with the 60ml to just give it that next layer. I hope I have anyway. But it is quite thick stuff, so I can probably spread it around a little bit with a stick if I need to. But I want to make sure I've got every last drop that I've mixed in there. And as I say, that's only 60ml. I'm hoping that's enough for each layer now, because I'm going to need 2 or 3 layers, I think, to completely cover this and get the solar system effect that I want. So I'm just giving it a hand, pushing it to the sides, and then I'm going to give it a second to just settle on its own. But I want to make sure it goes all the way to those sides, guys, so that I've got a nice even layer, like so. And as I say, it's just clear I'm using now. And then there's going to be the colour bit, what I'm going to show you in a second. There we go. I'm pretty confident that that has covered the whole of that area. And now I'm just going to let it, I suppose, do its thing and auto level, as all resins do. And sorry if you can hear any noise in the background. I've got my girls this weekend, and girls will be girls and play on tablets and things like that. So if you can hear any noise in the background, that's what it is. So I'm just going to torch this now to get rid of any of those excess bubbles. And again, it just helps move it around in there as well. So that is that. And then what I'm going to do is just in that edge, I can see it wasn't all the way in the corner. So I'm just going to move it around like so. And making sure I've got that level surface, which I think I have now. And then going over it again with the torch so that any bubbles are gone. There we go. And it's covered up that one bubble that I had in the center now. So, and then with this small pot, all I'm going to do, I say, I think I'm going to go with a purple. I've got this homemade purple pigment like that, which I think will give a good sort of colour for the base colour for the solar system anyway. So all I'm going to do here, use my stick, and I'm going to use, just dip my stick in there, and whatever's left, I'm going to use. So there's that in this small pot that I've made. And this is just going to be layer 1. Now layer 2 and 3 might get a little bit more interesting. But this one, all I want is that lovely homemade pigment paste. as a background colour. Look at that. Beautiful. And then all I'm going to do is just very carefully put some in the centre, so a decent portion, like so, and then start to move it around in the design that I want. And it's going to need more than this, but again, I'm just using it, moving it around like so, until I've got a layer that I'm happy with. And I didn't want that to happen there. So what I'm going to try and do actually is try and push that back into that centre. Don't mind a tiny bit of wispiness everywhere anyway. And then I'm going to put one more blob. Probably shouldn't use that word. And then just go around like so, creating almost a giant oval. And it's just mixing that mica around. So again, start at the centre and just move your way out to the edge. Gradually going a little bit further out. And this is just going to be that base colour, guys. And do one the other way. And then do it again. And hopefully as we build more colours into this and depth, you'll start to see the shape that we're actually making form in the resin. Quite relaxing, this bit. There we go, that's nicely moved around. And it's kept that sort of spirally design what I wanted. So I'm just going to give it one more go around, just with the stick now, not using any colour. From the centre, around. And it's just making sure that I've pretty much got the area covered that I want covering. And I think that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to leave it at this point, because I think there is a risk that I could go and do too much. But if you can see, that's just creating that initial shape in that clear resin of what our solar system is going to look like. And then with the next layers, we're going to build in, I suppose, almost two different colours, but that's just your base. So I'm going to come back in 5 minutes, make sure there's no annoying bubbles, and then we will do the second layer in about 2.5 hours. I'll see you then. So here we go, guys, and it's been about 3 hours, so this is definitely set now, and if you look at that, that is just the start of our galaxy. So, same process, I'm going to mix up 60ml again in one of these pots of the fast cure, and then this time I'm going to do two different colours. So I'm going to keep the dark purple as my base colour, but then if you look at this one, I've got some, I suppose it's iridescent purple, and I'm going to use that in it as well, just to create a bit more of a sort of galaxy spiral theme. So just going to mix up, as I say, 60ml again of the fast cure. And then I should be able to do another coat in about 3 hours. So, and I think it's the building up of the coats that's going to make this hopefully pop and look really cool. Give us sort of a 3D spiral galaxy effect is what I'm after. And I'm just hoping that it works, because I've not done this before, but I just thought, you know what? I keep on saying that this glitter and this black looks like a galaxy. So it was about time that I tried it to actually see if I can get a galaxy. So there we go, just mixing up again about 60ml of the resin. And I know that that worked last time, so hopefully it's enough again this time. So just going to mix it round together like I did last time. And that's the great thing, as I say, with this resin. 3 hours and you're ready for your next layer. So if you're doing something that's going to take probably 3 or 4 layers like this one, it's ideal. And I know that there's other fast cures that do in about 4 hours, but this one genuinely 2.5 hours and you are ready for that next layer. So just mixing it round, scraping all the sides and the bottom. And as you can see, there's not a bubble in there, which is great. So again, that for me, it's already crystal clear. It's mixed around enough. Yes, there's bubbles in it, but we know from the last time they're going to dissipate and just go. So again, just tiny bit in each of these cups. One for my purple, like so, and then an even smaller amount for my iridescent, although a bit more came out than I expected there. And then the rest can just go around. Exactly the same as last time, and cover that layer. And hopefully this is a great way to sort of fix pieces that you might have that haven't cured correctly or the right way. And I think I had a tiny bit of cured resin in that, so I'm going to pick that out in a second, that green bit. But again, you can do anything at this point. You can add planets, you can do whatever you want to make it your galaxy. Again, just trying to get every drop out like so. But again, if you look at where that dried resin's actually cured, it's a glittery one. Actually looks quite cool, but I'm not going to leave it in because I don't want it as part of my design. But you can do whatever you want. And the only limitation here is your imagination. Again, just trying to get that out because I think it's a cured piece of resin, which I don't want in there. Oh, there we go. So there we go. Just going to, again, move it around to the edges like I did last time, making sure I've got every drop of that resin in there because there's no point wasting any. Just to create that flat layer that hopefully is going all the way to the edges like so. And it works really well with this because of obviously the depth of the bowl. This was originally a 22-ounce bowl. But you have got to remember with this, guys, you've only got sort of a 20-minute working time with it because obviously it cures so quickly. So it's a case of get your design in and leave it to cure, ready for the next layer. So again, just going to wipe my stick. And I'm gradually moving all of my sticks onto these silicone ones because, again, it's just so much easier. You wipe it with a baby wipe, like so, and then you're ready to go next time. It's as simple as that. So, again, I'm gradually moving all of them onto those. And now for my 2 colours. So, again, I'm going to be using that base of the purple, which is that homemade one. And I'm just going to stir my stick around. Whatever's left can go in there. And hopefully that'll be enough. There we go. Already got that nice deep purple in that pot. And that's exactly the same colour as last time. And I'm going to do 2 things. So I'm going to add a little bit of the iridescence to that, but not much. And again, these cocktail sticks are really useful because you just literally wipe it and then you're ready to go with your next colour, like so. And for this, as I say, I'm going to be using this purplish iridescent powder. I got it from Temu, so I don't know what it's going to be like, but we will find out. And in the purple, the deep purple, I'm only going to put the tiniest bit, and that's just to hopefully help it blend. Literally, that much is all I'm putting in, because I still want that to be quite a deep colour. And then the rest, I'm going to put quite a decent amount, so maybe sort of half a scoop, like so, in the other pot. And what you'll find is with this iridescent powder is it does look slightly white, which is what I actually want for this effect to work. So again, I'm just going to stir around the iridescent powder first, Again, whenever you're stirring mica powder, just be careful. And it's sort of a bluey purple, this, so I think it'll be perfect for this. So there we go. So that's sort of a bluey, whitey, purpley, iridescent colour, which is what I want for this solar system. And then I'm going to mix the rest of that tiny bit just into that purple to sort of blend it in together a little bit more. And then we're going to do the same as what we did last time. So clearing the bubbles, first of all, with your torch. And I've just put a bit of dry resin in from my gloves. I'll fish it out in a minute. Like so. And I say, I think it's going to take maybe one more layer after this to get the effect I want. But with this fast cure, you can still do everything pretty much in a day, which is amazing. Normally, this would take 3 or 4 days if I wasn't using that fast cure resin. So, here we go. So first layer, as I say, is going to be this darkish purple, exactly the same as last time. I'm just going to put a decent sized piece in the center. Again, just using my stick for this. And then we're going to do exactly the same as last time, which is just literally going around in that spiral design. And do it as many times as you like until you're happy with it. And this time I'm actually going to come back after about half an hour and do the same stir. And it will just really, really emphasize that spirally effect. As you can see, I'm just going a little bit further out. And this is now sort of that second layer going in. Like so. And now I'm happy with that as an amount. As I say, you don't need a lot of your colours, guys, for this. In fact, I am going to add a tiny bit more because I want a bit more depth in this layer. So again, just another little bit in the centre. Start in the centre every time and then just spiral it around with that resin. And as you can see, it's kind of creating that spiral effect with the mica. And what will really emphasize this in a minute, hopefully, is when I go in with that iridescent blue. So again, just going to give that a wipe. I can see I've just created a couple of bubbles there. Get rid of those. And I can also see where, unfortunately, I think I dripped a little bit in, so I don't want that on the edge. That can come over here. There we go. And then I'm going to give it one more spiral. Like so. And I think I'm pretty happy with that for my base. Again, get rid of those bubbles that you've just put in. And now I'm going to go in with the iridescent bluey white. Again, I've probably mixed far too much here, but I just want a decent amount to go right in the center. And I'm going to start off with 2 lots, I think, and then just see what it looks like. Now for this, again, it's just doing 3 or 4 things at once, guys, so apologies for that. So here we go. And again, I'm going to do exactly the same that I've just done and just work it round slightly like so. And again, back into the center, work my way around until I'm happy with the look that I've got. And hopefully this will create as a really cool sort of 3-dimensional spiralized planet. Look. But again, it is my first time doing this, guys, so if it doesn't work, don't shoot the messenger. I just thought it'd be fun to try. And I think it needs a little bit more. So again, just going to get some more on my stick. Start off in the center And that's going to be the key with this, I think, is starting in the center every time. And you can see the iridescent blue also creates a bit of a whiteness, which is what I'm after, but not too white. So I don't want to use anything like a titanium white because I think it'll be too much. And I'm still wanting it to mix with that purple. That was that base layer, like so. And again, just keep playing with it until you get the look that you're happy with and then leave it. And I think that's going to be the crucial bit for me, is actually learning when enough's enough. So I'm going to go around one more time, I think. And it's just to really emphasize those spirals with the big stick. And then I'm going to swap to a smaller stick. So that's that. And then I'm just going to use my silicone tool now and do exactly the same. Starting in that center, working my way around, getting that spiral design in, and hopefully blending those two colors slightly together, but still keeping those rings in is the key. So again, one more out, like so. And you're almost creating just that spirally vortex. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave that now for 30 minutes or so and then come back and give it another swirl. But just look at that already. Beautiful. And then it's going to be a case of the next layer is probably going to be more of that iridescent purple and less of the deep dark purple that we've got in the background. Now, the only bit I'm not really happy with is this. So again, pull it around again. There we go. That's better. And hopefully you guys can see on camera, but it's just, as I say, it's creating that almost three-dimensional sort of galaxy-like look. I'm loving the way it's looking so far. I think one more layer and I think we'll be done. And don't forget with your spares, guys, always have a drip mold next to you just to put it into, especially with something like this where you're only using the tiniest bits of colour. So I'll see you guys in about 3 hours. Right, guys, so it's been about 20 minutes, and I know I'm not gloved up. Sorry, I'm doing 20 different things at once. So all I'm going to do now is it's obviously thickened up a little bit, and I've only left it sort of 20 minutes or so because this is going to cure quite quickly. And then I'm just going to go around again with my silicone tool all the way out to those edges. So I'm happy with it. And I'm loving the way that this is looking. And any bits you're not happy with, just pull them back round, you know. And then the next layer, I am going to do a bit more of the dark as well as the iridescent, just to really sort of highlight certain areas and give us a few darker, deeper areas. But so far, I hope you'll agree, it's looking pretty cool. There we go, and I'm happy with that. So I'm going to leave that now to cure. Just going to get rid of any bubbles that I might have just put in and keep checking it every 5 minutes or so for any more bubbles. But if you can just see the difference between sort of that darkness and lightness, I think it is really starting to come together now. So one more layer and we should be there. So I'll see you guys in about 3 hours. So here we go, guys. I've just put that final layer in and all I've done is swirled it around. Again, sorry it didn't record. Problems with the camera as always. So all I did is I swirled it around as we did last time. I'm just going to give it a couple more swirls actually, just so it naturally sort of blends and wisps off like that. And again, it was using the same two colours. The only thing I've done differently here is I've just put a brighter blob of that iridescent blue in the centre, which is kind of like the centre of my solar system. And I think I'm happy with that. let me know what you think in comments. I'm going to let it cure now. In fact, I'm going to come back in 10 minutes, actually, and just give it one more sort of go around with my silicone tool, make sure everything's looking the way that I want it to. And then we should be about there. So I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Let me know what you think in comments there. Let me know what you think it looks like at the minute. I'm pretty happy with it for a first sort of galaxy solar system. Got a couple of weird little bubbles forming though there, which I didn't want. So I'm just going to move those around. Like so. And it's that depth in layers that I think really creates this amazing effect. But let me know what you think. I'm pretty happy with it at this stage. But as I say, I'm going to come back in about 10 minutes just to make sure. I might go around it again with the silicone tool at that point. And just make sure I'm happy with the overall look. But I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. So here we go, guys. And it's about 10 minutes later, and I think I'm about done. But what I'm going to do is just try and create that separation again, just by going around one last time. Now it's thickened up with another swirl, like so. And that's kind of what's creating that blending of the two and that mixing. And then one more coming back in. But I think, do you know what? I'm actually really happy with this piece. I love the different colours. I love the way that I've kept most of that brightness in the centre, which is naturally, I think, the way that a solar system would look. With that star in the centre, brightening everything else up. And do you know what? I think it's pretty much my best piece. So I'm just taking off the bubbles. Then I'm going to let it cure. And I'm going to get you guys a few more better photos, but I'll give you a bit of a zoom in at this point as well. And then we'll come back tomorrow and have a proper look. But as I say, for me, sorry, I'm just trying to not get the ring light in, but that looks so real. I can't believe I've managed to make it. So it's gone from a piece that I wasn't particularly happy with to probably being my favourite piece. You know, I absolutely love the depth and the different layers upon layers and that detail. In fact, there's one little dot there that I'm not particularly pleased with. So I'll just move it around like so. But let me know what you think in comments, guys. I'm absolutely loving this. Just that depth of layers and colours. I don't think I could do it any better. I could do 100 of these, and I don't think I could get one looking as good. But let me know what you think in comments. We'll come back tomorrow once it's fully cured. As I say, we'll come back tomorrow. I'll get you some more close-up shots, and we'll see what it looks like fully cured. But I'm so happy with this as a result. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the morning just for a final look. In fact, it's probably not going to look much different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you some close-up shots, and I'll put that at the end of the video. But don't forget, guys, if you've learnt anything, if you've liked the content, do me a favour, like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Welcome to our custom space where dreams take flight. Positive visions coming to life. It's a perfect sight. We born together, blooming three, resin family. Testing micas, new creations. We set the free. Join our journey, like and subscribe. This is our place. Ocean seas to dragons and blooms. We carve with grace. Welcome to custom carving, where dreams come true. Epoxy magic flowing just for me and you. Masterpieces rising, crafted with our hands. Testing new colors.